In a world full of challenges, there are incredible people making a difference, one cause at a time. KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. KFGO for a Cause shines a spotlight on organizations and individuals dedicated to positive change.
This is KFGO for a Cause, brought to you by Neil Van Dam and the Van Dam Financial Group. Welcome back to the studio, Neil.
Good morning.
And I knew that April was Okay, now I'm going to get it wrong. Child Abuse Prevention Month?
Yes.
Child Abuse Prevention Month?
Yes, we call it CAP month.
Oh, you call it CAP. Okay.
That's
Child
a lot
Abuse
easier to say.
Prevention Month. CAP. Okay. And Sarah Matthews is in studio with us. She's the Executive Director of the Red River Children's Advocacy Center, RRCAC, if you want to abbreviate it. And welcome back to the studio.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You guys always have stuff planned for the month of April to reach out to the community and let them know you're here. Unfortunately, we know you're ever present in our community through some of the news stories. But tell us about what you're doing, like within the community and what you're providing. I know you always have something up your sleeve for this month.
Yeah, we actually did have a kickoff to CAP month at Bruhala last weekend. That was really successful. We had a bunch of our partners there, like Families Flourish. We had our Sanford Care Clinic there that does our SANE exams on the kiddos. It was just really great to have families together with their children to get that time for them, pairing and family time so that they can grow as a family and support each other a little easier when these types of things happen in their family. And then we always have our Stand to Protect training. And this month, we really would like to try to get as many people signed up as possible for that training. And so that's what we're focusing on for the month of April.
Who do you hope signs up for this training? Is it just everybody? Are you hoping kind of businesses engage their employees to do it together? Like who are you hoping to see on it?
Yes, it is an adult training. So we would like to see anybody. So any adults, any groups of adults, mom groups, businesses, organizations, clubs, literally everyone and anyone, because the more we know about child abuse, the more we can see those signs and protect our kids in the community.
What should people expect if they sign up to do this training?
Good question. It's really easy to get signed up, first of all. You just email one of our staff. It's rrcac.org. There's a sign-up link. It goes straight to her email. She's our prevention trainer. And she just calls you and schedules a 1-hour training wherever you would like the training to happen. She can be mobile and go in any environment. And like I said, it's a 1-hour PowerPoint presentation or not PowerPoint presentation. We have handouts and whatnot for you to take with you. But you will learn the 10 red flags of things that you should look out for that are indicating of child abuse.
What are some of those things? Can we talk about some of them? I mean, obviously we don't need to cover all 9 and we don't need to do an hour presentation now, but just some Cliff's Notes versions of like what people, if they're listening right now, hopefully a few things they can walk away with, some tools in their toolbox.
Yes. So one or a couple of them are things that you wouldn't necessarily think are red flags or just everyday things that might be happening. So one thing that you should make sure that you're doing is limiting alone time with your child and someone else. So whether that's their cousin who is watching them for the summer or grandpa or grandma, whoever it is, just making sure that you're really aware of what they're doing, when they're doing it, and then any kind of odd behavior or anything like that that would make you feel a little bit funny, like coming up from the basement, which no one goes in the basement, or, asking to do things out of the norm. So those close people to you who are watching your children, who you trust, this happens a lot with people that the family knows. And so those are some things that you wouldn't necessarily think to have on your mind, but you should, regardless of who is watching your child. Another thing is if your child is in like a sporting event or club or anything like that, one of the things that you should make sure to do is read what their policies and procedures are on alone time with adults or other people. If they don't have those stipulations or regulations in place, ask them what would they do if those things were to occur. Someone needs a ride and the coach starts to give the kids a ride to and from practice or games. A lot of sports now will not allow that for this exact reason. So just a couple of those.
A couple of things that like we just assume everyone we know is a trusted adult, which isn't always the case, and we assume that those people who are in positions within clubs and organizations are also trusted adults, which also isn't the case. And I don't think you're saying that, everyone is bad, but I think as parents we just need to be cautious that might be the case at any point.
Yeah, it is highly likely in the 90% of that these children and families know their offender. It's not the white van that pulls up on the street and takes your child, anything like that. It is over 90% of the time someone a child or family knows and trusts in some capacity. Like I said, cousin, sibling, coach, principal, whatever it is, someone that they know.
Do you also talk about in this training, like conversations to have with your kid?
Yes. There's a lot of information that on that exact topic. Actually, our website's a really great place for that too. There's a couple of links within our website that take you to well-known websites on starting those conversations with your kids. This winter we did a coloring contest for Giving Hearts Day that had those conversation starters on the back of it, because it is that important to be having those types of conversations with your kids. And we know as adults how difficult those conversations can be to start with your child. If you've never had those conversations before, it's uncomfortable for them and uncomfortable for you. So just taking that step and that leap to start those types of conversations, especially also nowadays around the digital world.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's not just conversations that you have to have about your day-to-day activities, but it's online activities, and I feel like it's much more of a dynamic conversation now, because it's not just who you're coming in contact with during the day face to face. It's also that online, which is so ever present with so many kiddos these days.
Texting too. So I just had this conversation with my 12-year-old daughter the other day. She's in a Bible study, and the leader of the group, who's a young man, was texting the group, and I'm like, oh, he has your number, huh? And he's wonderful. I'm not saying anything's wrong with him, but it's just like my red flags instantly went up. And
good job, Dad.
Yes.
But also the conversation was super awkward, and I probably handled it very poorly.
I don't think there's
how should you handle that conversation?
I don't think you should be hard on yourself though, because approaching the conversation is the right thing no matter how you do it, period.
But at the same time, like every kid has this person, everyone who's in the group, and he's doing his job. I mean, his job is to communicate with kids, so he's trying to make it fun and doing a great job. But how do you be like, I mean, instantly it was, who else do you have in your phone? And we went through her phone. But how should I have brought that up? I'm just curious.
No, I think that how you did it is fine. There's not a comfortable way to do it or a right way to do it. It's your instinct. It's what your gut is saying. And that's the most important thing to take into consideration. Say it when you feel like you need to say it. Don't wait. Just asking her who she has in her phone was fantastic. Now that parents know this person is texting them, all of the parents should know that. And that should be something that's brought up as well. If other parents are not monitoring the conversation, like you're being a very good dad in being aware of that stuff. But not all families do that because they're either uneducated or maybe it's just something that's not on their top priority list because they don't know what the risks are with those types of conversations happening in the background. Just monitoring the phone and telling them why. Like, I'm monitoring this for your safety because bad things can happen to you and to your friends or others. People seem nice, but sometimes they have bad intentions. Not everybody, like you mentioned. But if something feels weird in your gut, make sure to tell dad, and we can look into it. And my top priority is
you're not in trouble.
Yes. Yes.
You're not in trouble.
Yep.
You
Understanding.
Know, yep. You can always tell me anything that happens. Like,
never get upset. Never raise your voice, even if it's the most shocking or uncomfortable thing. If they've done something wrong, you just say, that's okay. I trust you, and we're going to get through this together. It's never a shameful thing. Kids are learning, and so are we. I mean, we're adults, and we still are learning things every day about all of this ever-changing technology and things in our lives, and what's safe and what's not. Do I click on that email? Do I not click on that email? Get the IT company to give you a call. I mean, we have people too, right?
Yeah.
And we are those people to the kids. And so I think it's important that they know that. And you can even use that as an example. Like, I, at work, have people that check in on my social stuff and my emails because I don't know what's safe out there either. And people are always trying to hack into my email at work.
And I get frustrated with them, too.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not
that's
just
such a
kids.
good example, though, Sarah. I had never thought about that. I use the line with my kids, like, my kids don't have phones yet. And I always tell them, like, if you want a phone or you want more screen time, we can bring it up at the doctor's office. Like, that's not my choice. The doctor is telling me that this isn't the best thing for your body and brain. And so I always take it back to that. But that's such a good example of being like, this happens to me too. Like, it's not just happening to you. I'm not just doing this to you. People do this to me too. They're looking into my stuff. They're making sure, like, sometimes I get sent emails just to see if I'll click on them.
That doctor's office is brilliant. Then you could say, and if you get a shot, you might get an extra 30 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly, right? Blood draw, whatever it is. Yeah.
I know a lot of things coming up in April, but in May you also have a conference coming up?
Yes, every year we host an annual child maltreatment conference, mostly for our partners in law enforcement and social services, prosecution, medical. So if any of those are the fields of any listeners, this is a really great conference. It actually goes over some of the digital risks. There's a presentation from some of our partners who specialize in those kinds of crimes.
Who did you have come in last year? Did you do this last year? Did you do this conference last year?
Yeah. So we've done this conference for, is it 19 years?
Oh my gosh, that long?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This year's 19.
I feel like I know someone who attended it last year who is talking about that sort of same topic.
Well, I think last year for CAP Month, we had a special training at the Fargo Dome for parents on these digital crimes.
Okay.
Specifically would walk through the phone and everything with parents. This is similar, but a little higher level of that for professionals in the field to know a little bit more about those kinds of things. But we have lots of other presenters. We fly in people from different states, some really well-known speakers in child maltreatment. Some of them are telling their own story of abuse and how they survived. A lot of it is also like, how does the team work together in prosecution and law enforcement and social services? And we even do panels on how did that go and how did that not go so well, just to educate everyone on, things that they may miss or ideas that they had that worked really well, that were maybe unconventional, but it worked really, really good for the investigation. And so just a gamut of so many different types of maltreatment speakers. It's a really great time. It's May 13th and 14th. Now it's at Dakota Medical Foundation, actually, this year.
Yeah, big new building. Yeah, that's so fun. And I think it's important to know that, like, the reason you educate the people in healthcare and law enforcement is that they really are on the front lines. They can sometimes see it first and identify it.
Absolutely, yes. And it's really important that we all work together as a team. We're really blessed in our Fargo community to have a really great multidisciplinary team relationship with all of those entities in Cass and Clay County and the surrounding areas, of course. But that's not like that in every state around the nation. And so
Really?
It's very strange. When I go to conferences, actually, for executive directors of CACs,
Because there are children's advocacy centers all across the country.
yeah, there's like over
Yep.
900 and some
Yeah.
child advocacy centers. And when I go and talk with other executive directors, they're like, your team does that together and there's no bickering or fighting or anything like that. And so it just makes the investigations go so smooth. I feel like justice is then served quicker, better, longer sentences. Just the whole thing. And when we're all on the same page and we all know the same things, and we're all there together, mingling and getting to know each other better in those environments, the better we can work together.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love that we stand out as people who are like getting it done and collaborating.
And I honestly don't think it's like the North Dakota, Minnesota nice thing.
No, I don't think so either. It's like everybody in these positions has the right focus, and that is like kids are at the center of what we're doing. They matter first, and everything else is 2nd.
Yeah, I kind of brag about that fact when I talk to other states.
Yeah.
Like, oh, our MDT gets along super well. Like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I love that.
Yeah. So obviously the former executive director and the team before me really did a nice job keeping those relationships with those partners strong and respectful, and they all really rely on each other in the right ways.
How long has the Red River Children's Advocacy Center been open now?
So 2004 is when we opened our doors, so a little over 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that's been a really good run. And I mean, the growth from like 2004 to 2026 is exponential.
Yeah, just the last 3 years, we have grown a total of 66% in services being able to be provided. So 22% about each year for the last 3 years. That comes with more funding, more awareness that we're getting from the community, that we've sort of fought for at the legislative level, many different things, lots of different grants that we've filled out as well. About 60% of our funding comes from federal grants, which are very, have a lot of stipulations on them. So we have to be careful on what can we grow and what can't we grow and in which direction and how can we make this work for the kids and the families. But we've also grown another location in those 3 years. We now have a Devils Lake location as well, which is starting to pick up with cases. So
Sarah Matthews with the Red River Children's Advocacy Center. I wish you weren't growing. I mean, I wish we could just be done with your services, but unfortunately, I don't think that the need has gotten greater. I think our awareness of the need has gotten greater. And so thankfully, you can grow and support, because I don't think there's more abuse. I think it's probably that we are more aware and finding it, which is I'm thankful for.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's kind of been that silent epidemic, situation where no one wants to talk about it. It's uncomfortable to talk about it. When someone says, what do you do? And I say I work with children who have been abused, they want to stop the conversation immediately because it makes them uncomfortable. They don't know what to say. But the more we make that stigma go away and we start talking about that, and we start talking about that with our kids well in advance to their teens, they'll grow up knowing that that's okay to talk about, and it will just be the norm. It's going to take us a while to get there, but that's what I see in the next 20 years, hopefully, is this is a topic that every kid knows and talks about fluidly and comfortably with anyone.
I mean, your line before we got on the air was silence doesn't keep kids safe, conversations do, right?
Yep.
So that's what we should all remember. So you can't do it wrong, Neil. Conversations keep kids safe. Silence doesn't. Sarah Matthews, Neil Van Dam, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.